how much I love Journey Spice. Journey Spice, non-GMO, no salt, no sugar, just all sorts of goodness and smart, environmentally friendly packaging. Pinch the top, take it off. Food tastes better. Comes in singles, 2-packs, and 4-packs. It's Journey Spice. Find them at Amazon.com. Time for Denver's best sports talk with the Altitude Daily.
This is the Altitude Daily Podcast. Everything you can't miss from today on Altitude Sports Radio. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane.
But there's a lot of people that agreed with me. So overwhelmingly, the majority of people, including myself, have the Avs first. Again, the question is most likely to least likely to win their respective division. When it just comes to divisions, obviously the division means a ton in the NFL. It means a lot in the NHL. It doesn't mean squat in the NBA. The way that I see it, most likely to least likely to win their division, I put the Avs first. The reason why, I think if they were healthier last year and had the goaltending change before the season as opposed to midseason, Winnipeg doesn't run away with that thing as they did early in the year. And I think now that you have goaltending you can trust with the Woods, and knock on wood, no way you can be as unhealthy at the beginning of last year as at the beginning of this year as you were at the beginning of last year. There's no way. It's like impossible for that to happen again. I think that they have a much better start to the season, and they finish at the top of the Central. Second, this is where I think the surprise comes in. I think it's the Broncos. I think they got, out of these three teams, the second best shot to win the division. Here's why. The Broncos, I think, got better this offseason, and they're already a 10-win team, so it takes them up a notch. I think the Chiefs are going to come down a little bit, make it a lot more even. The reason why I have the Nuggets last, and I'll flip this in a second. The Nuggets are much better. I think it's probably the best team the Nuggets have had since I've been here. As far as full depth, better shooting, better depth, and actual backup big, backup guards that you trust, all those different things. Here's the problem. OKC is still OKC, and they're going to win 60-some games this year, and I don't think the Nuggets get there. So in their division, I think OKC's still on top. Here's what's interesting, at least the way my brain's working right now. When it comes to most likely to win a championship, if I had to rank these, I think the Nuggets are first, the Avs are second, and the Broncos are third.
It feels like a dichotomy when you say that, right?
But I'm talking about is the Nuggets, I think, have a better shot in a 7-game series against OKC to beat them than the Broncos do to beat the Bills or the Ravens or the Chiefs or whoever in the playoffs. But over the course of a season, Moj, the Thunder's going to win 60-some games again this year.
I'm sure they will.
So that's it. It's like regular season stacking up wins versus how do you stack up in the postseason are two different discussions.
The Altitude Daily. The Morning Sprint.
He's the Joker. And obviously went on through that full minute gushing about that type of player. Dude, they're going to draft a tight end in one of the first 2 rounds of the next 2 drafts. They're going to find someone that they fall in love with, and they will draft the next Trey McBride because he knows.
He's a second rounder.
Dude, he knows. Sean Payton knows. This Evan Engram thing is a 2-year deal, and that's it.
It is.
It's not. You're not getting anything more than this 2-year deal out of him. And honestly, I don't know if Sean Payton fully believes that Engram can get to that level.
I think he does.
I don't know, man.
My theory is
I just haven't seen it.
We also have to remember that what we've seen are the practices that the public can be at and they can film. And so if you make a huge emphasis of creating schemes and touches for Evan Engram, Sean Payton knows that he's tipping his hand to the rest of the league. Schematically, these are things that we're going to do to get Evan Engram.
All I can react to is what I've seen out of camp, though, for 3 weeks.
But I would say, like, the offensive structure was at camp last year felt different than what we saw during the regular season. And I've always thought that Sean Payton really holds back, really holds in some of the scheme that he ends up employing during the regular season. So I'd say that is going to be a component of Evan Engram. I'm standing by the fact I'm gonna stand strongly on this hill that Evan Engram is without a question going to have a very, very significant season this year for the Broncos. He's going to have it's going to be big. He looks healthy, and that's another part of it. When you haven't had full health in a couple of years, do you really want to exhaust every aspect of Evan Engram in training camp? I think Bo Nix and him have a fine connection right now. But now it's just about how does it all play together in real time?
The Altitude Daily. Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC.
What did we learn about each other? The Cardinals learn about themselves and the Broncos based off that practice on Thursday.
Oh, I think we learned we learned what we already kind of know, which is it's still practice. It's still one practice in a very long preseason. So, you've already mentioned the fact that I've been doing this for a while. I try not to get over my skis in terms of a singular practice or what might happen. But, from the Cardinals' perspective, I thought they end up doing exactly what I thought that might happen against a Broncos team that obviously has been to the playoffs and expects to go back there. The Broncos have a good defense. I think it was a mixed bag for the Cardinals offense at times. You saw Trey McBride, the tight end from Fort Morgan. He looked excellent and unguardable, but that's kind of who Trey is. And then, in terms of the defense, I thought there were times when the pass rush for the Cardinals looked pretty decent. I think the back end, they're still looking for some stuff, but this is a great example of why it's tough to judge practice. I know
Sure.
Reading a lot of the reports, it seemed like the Denver people were really happy with what Bo Nix was doing. And I'm not saying Bo Nix didn't have a very good practice, but when you can't when you're not supposed to, at least from the coach's perspective, come within 5 feet of the quarterback when you're rushing them, not only are you taking that part out of the equation, but the fear factor for the quarterback tends to drop quite a bit too when you know there's no way anybody's going to come close to touching you. So that impacts some things. But I thought from the Cardinals' perspective, it was about what I thought it might be. I'm a little interested. It was interesting. Jonathan Gannon only talks before practice, not after practice. He hasn't actually announced whether he was going to play the starters or not. So we're getting that from Sean Payton. But it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. That's, it was a little bit of a surprise that the Cardinals played their starters in the first preseason game.
Calais Campbell, who's went to high school right here in Colorado, I think is the same age as LeBron James, if I'm not mistaken. And not enough people maybe talk about his longevity.
I think he's
career.
Younger than LeBron. He's 38.
Well, he's got 18 years in. I don't know. LeBron's going in 20, so maybe just a little younger.
LeBron, a little younger, yeah.
Younger.
Yeah.
That being said, what does he look like, and what's the expectations out of him concerning his age anyway?
Well, first of all, I know Calais very well, having covered this team for so long. So I covered the first 9 years of his career when he got drafted. And so I'm aware of Calais' arc and kind of the smart person that he is. When he showed up, he acknowledged that he feels he can still be a dominant player, but he knows he can only be a dominant player if he's playing 30 to 35 snaps a game rather than
65
extended time.
Yeah.
The Altitude Daily. Kretman and Lindahl.
Broncos Cardinals 7:30 tomorrow night. Preseason action coming at you. Starters not playing because of the joint practice yesterday, so it'll largely be the backups, and jobs are up for grabs. And Andy, I think running back is probably the first one that jumps off the page at me for the Broncos coming up here tomorrow night. I think for all four of those dudes, that being McLaughlin, Estime, Watson, Bidet, in any particular order you want to lay them down, this is a massive game for all four of those players. Dobbins won't play. Harvey won't play. I'm assuming that those guys aren't going to play. I think they go on the list of ones that don't have to be out there. Save those guys a little bit. But I think right now those four backup backs are in an absolute dogfight. I'm sure Sean Payton has his pecking order right now, But and as much as I would probably put Audric Estime at 6th in that competition right now, Andy, I don't think it's all said and done. I think if Audric Estime goes out and has a really good game tomorrow night, I think he's right back in the conversation because I truly think it's up for grabs right now.
Interesting. Yeah, Audric Estime offers them a body type they don't have any others. We talked a little bit about that. See, that's the thing. I feel like Jaleel and Bidet, I just feel like they are a little bit redundant. Audric could be the guy that you would like to see get behind his pads, run full force, and just bully his way into the end zone when you need it from the 2-yard line. See, to me, I almost would run R.J. Harvey. I don't think you're wrong. Don't mishear me. But I would, to me, when Sean said yesterday, there's guys that will be on a pitch count of 8 or 10 snaps or whatever, I'd let R.J. Harvey have a drive full and let's,
couple of carries.
We corrected. Now, he showed a correction. It looked like a bit during camp this week where he was running more between the tackles and less let me get outside. Why don't we just drive that home and show me you're going to go up in the middle and get into the noise with all the big boys, because you cannot be trying to get the edge on every play. We've talked about it this week.
Here's my one question about that. Do you want your number one back, which I believe R.J. Harvey is the number one back on this team, do you want him getting a bunch of carries behind the backup offensive line if you're hoping that guy can get 200 touches in the regular season?
I don't care because I need to see the feel.
Okay.
Now, look, we're making these statements on Friday. Something goes wrong on Saturday.
Right.
Everybody has regrets.
Right.
But right now, and I understand your point, but right now, remember, they got theirs 2s out there as well. So show me a little bit of what you've learned. Show me a little bit of let's just get, like I said, he doesn't have to have 8 straight runs.
Sure.
But give me 3 runs in the course of a drive, 4 runs in the course of a drive. It goes 10 plays. We'll call it good.
Okay.
But I think you're right. I don't think he plays.
You've been listening to the Altitude Daily. Catch us live weekdays on 92.5 FM, the Altitude Sports Radio app, twitch.tv/AltitudeSR, youtube.com/Altitude Sports Radio, and your favorite smart speaker. Say Altitude Sports Radio.